This is the story of how I became a believer. While it improved my life, the memories of that night still haunt me today. I never thought I'd experience such a horrifying event in my time on earth. I know God had a plan for me by showing me this, but I don't think I'm the best at dealing with what happened. I was born into a very lukewarm Christian family. My parents said they believe in God, but their lifestyle did not include Him at all, and they would never bring the subject up. I was baptized and placed in a Catholic school in my hometown, where I spent most of my teenage years. I was a problematic kid. I loved being the class clown, playing pranks, and making everyone laugh. Being a natural troublemaker, I had a little group that was just as naughty as I was. The group consisted of 2 girls and 3 boys, including me. One day after class, we were planning our next little mischief, and it was something we had never done before. We would hide in the bathrooms, wait until the teachers and janitors left, sneak into an abandoned nun's office that nobody would dare get near, and play with a Ouija board. We told our parents we were going to the movies and for a walk after class, so they wouldn't mind us not being home. We walked out of our last class at 5 p.m, and the girls hid in the top floor bathroom, while the boys and I grabbed some cards to pass the time and hid in the 3rd floor bathroom. Around 7:30 p.m, we heard the girls whispering outside the bathroom we were in, so we came out. We sneaked our way into the abandoned office and closed the door behind us. We had packed some candles, the Ouija board, and the rest were just our class items. We lit the candles and sat in a circle around the board. We knew that what we were doing was wrong, but there was some kind of thrill to doing it that made us keep going anyway. Everyone placed a finger on the board and started asking questions. At first, we were just joking. We would throw questions like, is it true that Peter lost his virginity? Does Mr. Nunez shave his arms? Has Sister Sonia ever kissed a man? No reply. We would move the thing on purpose to get the funniest answers and just laugh like idiots. That was until one of the boys asked, are we alone in this office? We all felt the small board move towards no. 3 seconds ago, we were laughing, but now everyone was looking at each other. We all felt it right away. This wasn't us moving the board. We took a little pause. We started looking at each other, like we knew we had just screwed up. But one of my buddies said, if there is something actually behind this, we can just ask interesting questions and see what kind of answers we can get. One of the girls said, all right, but if there is something creepy moving this thing and we can confirm it, we abort and get the hell out of here. I, not wanting to be the chicken, agreed. The others did too. She asked, are you a ghost? No answer. Are you angry at us? The board moved aggressively towards yes, and that was it for us. We immediately got up and kicked the board away, but our nightmare had just begun. We all started feeling goosebumps, and the atmosphere turned very dark instantly. It was almost as if you could touch the evil that was in there. The temperature dropped like crazy, and it got so cold. And that's when the candle fire went off. We didn't have smartphones at the time. I had some matches that I used to light the candle on, but we were completely in the dark and freaking out. We all started screaming, and as I describe this, I get the same feeling over again, even though it happened decades ago. You might think the worst just happened, but now is when things get really dark. We all froze staring at the candle, and when we started making eye contact, we realized one of the girls had her eyes completely white and her hands were shaking. You would think we all would just use the light from the candle to open the door, run for our lives, and leave our friend there alone with whatever was interfering with her. And that is exactly what we did, to my shame. Adrenaline pumping through our veins, and the feeling that our world was crumbling down on us, we ran as fast as we could to the building where the nuns would stay. As we were getting closer, we saw the nuns already running towards us. For the love of God, what is going on here? Why are you still here? What did you do? The nuns screamed at us. We ran towards the abandoned office and, stuttering, explained as much as we could, but they wouldn't let us in. They did get in, though. The nuns called our parents, and they came to pick us up. We were in as much trouble as you would have guessed by now. Turns out, our friend had entered a psychotic state of mind, and my parents told me that the nuns had to pray it away. Her parents got her out of the school, and we never heard from her or saw her again. The nuns wanted to expel us from the school as well, but the bishop in charge said we, amongst everybody else, would need to stay in that school the most, and that he trusted that God had put us through that experience for a reason, and how right he was. I had post-traumatic stress disorder from that night, and every time I went to sleep, I would dream about what happened in that abandoned office over and over again. It's like the demon that visited us came hunting me at night. I was born again that night, and I got right with God at a very young age. I didn't start believing in God because I saw miracles. I started believing in God because I had an encounter with the devil, and it ultimately made me get close to God. So, before you go to bed tonight, I want you to know that your natural fear of darkness is justified. There is a reason your heart starts pumping when you hear a strange sound in your room, like it might happen tonight. You can choose to believe me or not. Life, through God, will teach you. Subscribe and leave a comment if you enjoyed this testimony. See you in the next story.